If you've ever driven north along the Sea to Sky Highway on your way to, say, Whistler or Squamish, and while you were passing through Britannia Beach, you looked to your right, you might have noticed the old Britannia Mine. Britannia Mine was an old copper mine that was established in 1904. In addition, they mined zinc and silver and gold, and for a time it was the most productive mine in the British Empire. Over its years of operation, it employed 60,000 people from 50 countries and extracted over 50 million tons of ore. During its period of peak production, they were producing 7,000 tons of ore every day. However, after 60 years of production, the mine had to close. Despite its closure, the water runoff from the mines continued to release a steady stream of heavy metals directly into Howe Sound. Now, heavy metals are poisonous chemicals, and this devastated marine ecosystem in the proximity. The problem arises when rainwater enters the 210 kilometers of mine shafts that were created during this mining. Now, the mine shafts contain metal sulfide mineral deposits. Now, these metal sulfides, when they mix with the rainwater and oxygen in the air, they undergo a natural process called acid rock drainage. Now, acid rock drainage is a process where these metal sulfide minerals, oxygen, and water mix together, and they free up these heavy metals such that they can float away from these mineral deposits in the water runoff in the form of metal ions. This process also produces sulfates and acid. Despite this, it really is the heavy metals that are released in this process that were significantly damaging to the ecosystem. And so cadmium ions, copper ions, iron ions were all floating out into Howe Sound at a rate of 600 kilograms of dissolved metals that were being released every single day. Now, there were many different substandard efforts to address this, but it wasn't until 2004 that EPCOR was awarded a contract to treat the contaminated water with calcium hydroxide. So they now divert the contaminated water, and in mixing it with calcium hydroxide, or also known as slaked lime, a process occurs in which the hydroxide from the calcium hydroxide it mixes in the water and binds to each of these heavy metals. The hydroxide preferentially binds with these metals, and they produce these metal hydroxides, which are solid and they sink out of the solution. Those metals are replaced with calcium ions, and the water that then is released from the water treatment plant into Howe Sound is regular water with calcium ions. Now, ocean water is already plentiful with calcium ions, and so these are considered neutral to the environment. And indeed, it didn't take long for the ocean marine ecosystem to rebound. And now if you go to Howe Sound and you go next to the Britannia Mine, you will be able to see moss growing, algae, and fish, as the EPCOR treatment facility is removing 250,000 kilograms of heavy metals every year.